Good evening, and welcome to the 2020 National Honor Society Virtual Induction. My name is Jordan Murdoch, and I will be your host this evening. Some of you may still refer to me or know me as Miss Ritchie. I'm proud to say that I'm one of the co-sponsors for National Honor Society, along with Mrs. Mindy Eckenrod. You seniors were my first group of students when you were in 6th grade, and you will always hold a special spot in my heart. So when I was asked to be one of your sponsors this year, there was absolutely no way that I could say no. Every single one of you have been extremely patient when waiting for this evening to finally occur. So without further ado, I would like to introduce you to one of our principals, Mr. Charlie Mort.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our National Honor Society Induction Ceremony. I am Charlie Mort, principal at Highlands High School. On behalf of Mr. Bennis and myself, thank you for being with us on this incredible journey. While this ceremony looks different than in previous years, it is by no means any less of an accomplishment, and we are proud of each of our inductees. I would like to thank the parents of these fine students for their support and dedication to not only the inductees, but also for the support for our school in these very trying times. I would also like to thank Mrs. Murdoch, Mrs. Eckenrod, and Mr. Westergom for putting this program together. Your efforts do not go unnoticed. The National Honor Society recognizes students based on several important areas. Students not only are recognized based on their scholarship and must maintain a 3.4 GPA or higher, but are also recommended by their teachers based on their leadership, service, and character. Once again, thank you to our NHS staff, to our parents, and congratulations to each of our inductees.
Thank you, Mr. Mort. Our next guest grew up somewhat local to us in Apollo Ridge and is now currently a Pitt Panther. After several serious injuries throughout his college career, he has been granted a 6-year of eligibility from the NCAA this season. The amount of effort this gentleman gives on the field, he gives even more when he's off. As a young child, he aspired to be a superhero, and for the last several years, he has dedicated his time to being just that. He is the CEO of his own nonprofit called Love, Living Out Victoriously Every Day. His organization promotes mental health awareness to student athletes at Pitt, as well as young people around the Pittsburgh area. He has also been awarded the 2019 Freddie Solomon Community Spirit Award and is one of 22 student athletes nationwide to be nominated into the 2019 All-State Good Works team. Although I can't speak towards his academic standings, I can say that this man definitely exceeds in 3 out of the 4 pillars of the National Honor Society. With that being said, it is my pleasure to introduce you to your keynote speaker this evening, Mr. Trey Tipton.
What's up, everybody? It's Trey Tipton here. I'm a receiver at the University of Pittsburgh, also the CEO of an organization called Love, standing for Living Out Victoriously Every Day. We're an organization geared towards helping student athletes deal with depression, anxiety, and injury through community. But we're not here to talk about me. What we're here to talk about is the incredible students that are a part of NHS. And what does it mean to be a part of NHS? You guys have done something that not a lot of people are willing to do. You took it upon yourselves to not only dominate in academics, but to serve your community, to show your character, and to be a leader. Why are these things so important? You guys are now in high school and now about to move on in your lives and about to move on and do things in your life that you're going to have to grow up. And these 4 components of NHS are some very important components to your life and your lifestyle. Now, not to scare you, not to make you feel uncomfortable, but if you utilize these 4 components well, you can be very successful in your life. And you as NHS students have done just that. You've not only done just that, you've done that during a pandemic. Let me say it again so you guys can hear me clearly. You've done that during a pandemic. You guys have not only succeeded, you beat the odds completely. Now, I know we're not in a normal school setting. I know it's very tough. I know it's tough just to get up every single day because I go through it myself. I don't want to get up every single day and do these things that we have to do, but you guys have not only got up and did it, you guys have become one of the top of your classes. You guys have done it academically. You've done it through your service efforts, through your character and your leadership. That's remarkable, man. That's something that I strived for when I was in high school. So for you NHS students, I wanted to say thank you for being such great people, but not only great people, such hard workers. But let's look at some of these 4 components. Character. Your character is one of those things that a lot of people will judge you off of. How you come around, how you talk to people, how you interact with people is all important going forward in your life. So what type of person do you want to be? What type of character do you want to show people going forward in your life? I wouldn't have had this opportunity if my character didn't speak for who I am. And I appreciate this opportunity from Highlands High School. Next, into leadership. Never be a follower, always be a leader. Lead your own tribe. Be the person that you want to be for yourself. If you truly believe that you could change the world, then go do it. Don't waste time. Because a lot of people will tell you that you can't just because they never did it. But because they never did it doesn't mean that you can't do it. So remind yourself that every single day is an opportunity that you have in order to be successful in your own life. Service. Service is a huge thing to me. People need to love people. Without people, people can't survive. Think about that. People need to serve people because without people, people can't survive. And reality is people think they can do everything by themselves. But without the help of others, we cannot accomplish anything. No one person is the greatest person all by themselves. No team in the world has ever won a championship by themselves. Academically, you could never just teach yourself if you didn't have a teacher to help you get yourself guided along. There's times where I still find myself struggling, but I find people who are willing to serve in order to help me. So continue to serve, continue to give back to the community, continue to be the person that you need to be. And lastly, let's get into the academic realm of things. Academically, you guys have done something during a pandemic that even myself have a tough time dealing with. You guys have not only hit the bar, you went over and above the bar. And again, I wanted to commend you guys for not only going over and above the bar, but realize that you guys are superhuman in some type of way. Because you're in a pandemic, you're forced to not be at school, you're forced to do all your homework at home with your little brother or your little sister running around, going crazy, don't know what to do. You're forced to do all these things, but yet you still accomplish one of the biggest things is you guys are part of the National Honor Society. In order to be a part of the National Honor Society, you have to be a hard worker. And you guys have proven that you're not only hard workers, this is the lifestyle that you're willing to provide for the people that are around you. You're not only just a consistent, positive person, you're a consistent worker. And you put those two things together, you guys are more than remarkable. You guys are more than anything can commend. So I wanted to say all this to say that I commend you, I praise you, and I thank you for you guys being a part of NHS, the National Honor Society. And lastly, I wanted to leave you guys with this. Never allow someone to tell you that you can't do something just because they can't do it. Be the person that you want to be because you deserve to be that person. And to go even further than that, respect your smile because you earned it. You worked hard just to smile. You worked hard to have these great days. So with that said, National Honor Society, you guys are incredible. I hope one day that I can get to meet you guys and actually be in your presence, but due to, again, I'm not able to do that. So again, I just want to say thank you and I appreciate you guys. Now you guys enjoy the rest of your year and I'm out. Have a good one.
Thank you for those kind and motivational words, Trey. As you all are aware, there are 4 pillars that are required of all National Honor Society members: character, leadership, service, and scholarship. Mrs. Eckenrod and I have called upon a few of our friends to talk about those 4 pillars with you. To begin those pillars, we have Mr. Thompson here to talk about character.
Character is one of the main pillars of being selected as a member of the National Honor Society, along with service, leadership, and scholarship. Much like the 4 wheels of a car, they all must be functioning in order to operate properly. Character. It is a word that is often tossed around our society very loosely. The Webster Dictionary definition of character is as follows. Character is the mental and moral qualities distinctive to an individual. From the time we are born, we are constantly shaping our character from a myriad of life experiences. We need the help of others, from parents to neighbors to teachers to coaches and other individuals to develop our character. Character defines who we are, what we do, how we think, why we act, and what we say. It is often the guiding principle that determines when we say yes and when we say no. A person of strong character does not take Twitter polls or Instagram votes to determine the right course of action. They just act. You can learn about a person's character by observing how they treat people who can't do them any good and how they treat people who can't fight back. You've all been selected to join the National Honor Society because you display the traits of having exceptional character. Continue on to do so. Be the person who will speak up when no one else will, and will say no when everyone else says yes. To sum up character, I will use a quote from one of the major life influences and mentors for me, my offensive line coach in college, Todd Young. Coach Young passed away this March due to an abrupt and unexpected diagnosis of throat cancer. Coach Young always used to reiterate to us when we played, and after our playing careers had ended. Reputation is what others think of you. Character is who you are when no one else is looking. In short, reputation is overrated. Having character is legit. Now, Mr. Nathan Johnson will be talking about leadership.
What makes a good leader? There are many schools of thought about what comprises good leadership, including theories that focus on leadership traits, behaviors, values, personality, and character, just to name a few. Despite differences in culture, gender, age, and other variables, good leaders effectively model a way. They inspire a shared vision. They challenge the process. They enable others to act, and they encourage the heart. This takes a lot of trust and confidence in the people around you. Effective leadership is a social capability that can occur at any level where people influence others. Leadership is therefore more dependent on personal attributes rather than a position within an organization. As a leader, IQ and technical skills are important for sure, but emotional intelligence is the essential distinguishing characteristic of a great leader. Without it, Daniel Goleman puts it, a person can have the best training in the world, an incisive analytical mind, and an endless supply of smart ideas. But that still won't make them a great leader. Emotional intelligence, in other words, is a critical driver for effective leaders. It is defined as the ability to know and handle ourselves and our relationships, and includes the competency of self-awareness, self-management, motivation, empathy, and social skills. Now, the research outcomes are clear with regard to what makes a good leader. By demonstrating both functional skills together with emotional intelligence, both leaders and organizations thrive. So, as a strong leader, remember these. Keep a positive attitude, even when it's hard. Have confidence, not arrogance. Have a sense of humor. Be able to embrace failure. Failure is learning. Perfection can be pursued, but it shouldn't be the expectation. Listen carefully. Do not listen with the intent to reply. Instead, listen with the intent to learn and understand. Know how and when to delegate. You can't do this all on your own. Trust that others can be awesome when they're given the opportunity. Take responsibility. Throwing people under the bus only gets messy. Instead, be a cheerleader, and remember to give credit where credit is due. Rudyard Kipling encapsulates this idea in his poem entitled If. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowances for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, not deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good, nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with both triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken, and stoop and build them with old worn-out tools, if you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose, and start again at your beginnings, and never breathe a word about your loss, if you can force your heart and your nerve and your sinew to serve you long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will that says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you but none too much, If you can fill the with 60 seconds of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that is in it. And now I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Kieran, who will be sharing his thoughts on service.
This year, a year like no other, has shown us the incredible need for community. And every successful community relies heavily on the pillars that represent the National Honor Society, especially service. But how can you appropriately explain what it best means to serve? Is it a simple act of holding a door, cutting someone's grass, or donating to your local food bank? Or does this humble act require a greater effort than just the occasional good deed? Should you volunteer 1,000 hours to an emerging cause in order to create headlines while making a tangible impact? Or will a lack of recognition suffice if it guarantees the advancement of something bigger than yourself? Or maybe you're thinking, how can I adopt a mentality that encourages others to give first and to receive later? These are huge questions with life-defining answers. Service, while most closely aligning with character, is an irreplaceable pillar that teaches valuable lessons about community and benevolence. It expresses empathy through the recognition of others' needs, accountability by being present in the lives of those around you, and humility through the practice of sacrificially supplying for others while withholding necessities for oneself. Service is a responsible habit that magnifies someone else, lifting them up by recognizing their benefit and helping them to feel needed and appreciated. In a society where compassion is often seen as weakness, service helps to prove that it is in fact a significant strength, one that is best exercised out of a desire to help and not a requirement to do so. It is an act of humanity that is easily accessible. Think about the last time that someone served you without selfish motivation. This feeling is one in which I believe we all truly deserve to experience. Paying it forward is a lost art, but the National Honor Society hopes to rekindle it through the recognition of its members who are challenged to meet the requirements of what service entails. By your example, it is our hope that communities will no longer just survive, but will thrive, knowing that when a need presents itself, no matter how insurmountable or seemingly insignificant, someone will be there to answer the call. Not to accrue empty accolades or for selfish gain, but out of a love for one's neighbor and the ability to make a positive difference in the life of someone else. When someone asks you what it means to serve, my challenge to you is that you won't have the best explanation of what it means to serve, but it is that you will be the best explanation of what it means to serve.
Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Katz from the English department here at the high school, and I've been asked to speak to you today about the pillar of scholarship and National Honor Society. Before I go on and talk about that though, I would like to congratulate you on a remarkable achievement. And congratulations for all of your hard work and efforts. What I'm talking about is something that most of you have been very successful in. And if you were to look up the word scholarship, as you would expect me to ask you to do, it is defined as the academic study or achievement at a high level. And all of you then would probably qualify as scholars because you've done that. A synonym for scholarship is education. And part of the definition for education that I want to focus on today is an enlightened experience. When you leave high school shortly and you begin either furthering your education or working or doing whatever you plan, education should still be just as much a part of your life as it was while you were here. Now it's your turn to kind of take hold of your own education and begin to learn to value it. And by that I mean, for most of you to this point, scholarship and education have been a means to an end. So you get a good grade, you get into a higher level class, you get into a good college. Maybe in your future it's going to mean that you get a promotion, that you get a degree, that you make more money. But what I'm asking you to do is look at your education not as a way to achieve something else. And that is actually a very good thing to do. But I'm asking you to look at it in a slightly different way and think about the value of teaching yourself, which it is now going to be your own job to do instead of ours. Things like looking at education as a way to help you get out of something, maybe a problem, a struggle, maybe it can be a revelation. You come to discover something that you never knew before just because you did a little research. Sometimes education can be a letdown. We've all had classes we're disappointed in. You can learn that you don't like a certain subject. You can learn something that's disappointing to you, but nevertheless, now you know something else. And finally, I think a lot of you, if you keep the value of education in your lives, will come on to unexpected paths by possibly just reading a book that you might not have read before. If you research, experience something that then causes you to investigate something more. So basically what I'm saying to you as you move on, please, by all means, keep up your high academic achievement because it will bring you lots of great rewards. But so will things like keeping your mind open when you may have to take those freshman classes, sophomore classes in college that don't relate anything to your major and really seem like a pain. Sometimes you can find out some pretty interesting stuff there and some interesting things about yourself. Try new things. Sometimes we tend to, I know some of you may like one subject more than another, but the more you open your mind and look at other things and try new things, you never knew what you liked in the first place until you actually even tried it. And then finally, educate yourself. It's your job now. And you don't necessarily have to be the smartest person in the world, and you don't have to have the highest paying job. But like many other people have said, not just me, education is the one thing that can never be taken away from you. But it's the one thing that we all have access to, and not everybody chooses to educate themselves. So I'm going to use that cheesy cliche of becoming a lifelong learner and just making sure that you move forward, keeping up your high scholarship and keeping your curiosity high and just making sure that you value your education and educating yourself as much as you can. Again, congratulations on a great achievement, and we look forward to bright things in your future. Take care.
Good evening. I am Mrs. Eckenrod, co-sponsor of the National Honor Society. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the 4 speakers for their thoughtful and inspirational messages. It is my honor to introduce the 2020 National Honor Society inductees. Austin Allen, Jacob Allen, Alexis Altfather, Sydney Altfather, Joshua Beck, Trent Belak, Madison Black, Brianna Sismadia, Tessa Deemer, Donovan D. Sabatino, Riley Hendrickson, Emma Howe, Sarah Carnes, Kylie Karolkowski, Austin Langer, Gabriel Norris, Braden O'Neill, Jocelyn Srag, Robin Schreiber, Cade Terryberry, Caleb Urenick, Naya Walters. Congratulations.